On an open plain, a woman is killing zombies. Apart from her, her companions are also fighting fiercely against the zombies. They are also unlucky. Their vehicle broke down shortly after arriving, and they were immediately surrounded by a horde of zombies. The taller woman with long hair was more fierce and killed 2 zombies in a row, but she was injured before and now she is a bit weak. The surrounding zombies are gradually closing in, while each of them is individually skilled in combat. Their teamwork is lacking. Rick's team, for instance, would never find themselves in such a situation. They would move back to back, taking down zombies and not giving them a chance to overwhelm them, just when they don't know which one to break out. At this moment, they don't care who saved them. The most important thing is to escape alive. Then they rushed through the opening in the breakout into the woods. As they ran, they stopped, because a little girl appeared in front of them. The little girl gave people a kind of clean and valiant feeling. She picks up the police hat on the ground and puts it on her head and proudly says her name.
Judith Grimes.
People from Alexandria Safe-Zone are desperately searching for her as they had gone out hunting and she disappeared in the blink of an eye. Upon hearing the call, Judith rushed out. Aaron was visibly relieved to see her unharmed. The group then notices that there are 5 unfamiliar individuals accompanying Judith. Eugene and the others look at them warily. The chubby man introduces himself as Luke and explains that Judith saved them. Aaron and the others are helpless at Judith's behavior in helping others. Rosita reminds Judith that they need to follow the rules. By this point, the pursuing zombies have caught up. The team of 5 is on alert. To everyone's surprise, Eugene to walk up with a cold face and pull out the knife on his belt. Clearly, the 5 years that have passed have seen Eugene's rapid growth. He is no longer the timid, submissive individual he used to be. He has transformed into a competent survivor. Several zombies are dispatched, but more are approaching. They have to leave the area first and decide what to do later. Judith, with her kind heart, wants to help them. She straightforwardly declares that if they don't leave, she won't either. Rosita and Aaron exchange a glance. Helpless, they can only agree with Judith's decision, and so, they lead the group towards Alexandria Safe-Zone. Yes, Judith has grown up. 5 years had passed since Rick blew up the bridge. Michonne still searches for Rick every day, never allowing herself to give up. Daryl, too, has been searching for Rick for the longest time, living in the jungle and following the river over and over again. Meanwhile, Aaron has returned to Alexandria Safe-Zone to prevent the 5 from remembering the route. They covered their heads with black bags. Then, Rosita guides them into the community. The 5 stand hesitantly outside, wary of the unknown. This caution is warranted. Judith, observing their hesitation, approaches and takes the woman's hand, assuring them that it's safe inside. The boy interprets in sign language because his sister is deaf. With Judith leading the way, they enter the community. The sight that greets them leaves them in awe. In this post-apocalyptic world, they've never seen anything like it before. They began to wonder if this was a dream. In reality, Alexandria Safe-Zone has been renamed the City of Alexandria. After 5 years of development, the community has expanded by more than triple its original size. They even welcomed a portion of the once notorious The Saviors, those with kind hearts. The population has surged dramatically. Now, they are self-sufficient, cultivating crops and vegetables, utilizing solar power for energy. If Deanna could see that, she'd be happy. Gabriel emerges from the church, exuding an air of maturity. Do any of you remember who Aaron's daughter is? The residents gather around to watch as well. Rosita asks Siddiq to check on the injured woman in the carriage. After assessing her condition, Siddiq decides to take her to the infirmary. Magna, the injured woman's companion, is uneasy and wants to go with her, but DJ stops her. DJ, who once belonged to the Saviors, joined Alexandria's Safe-Zone later. These strangers won't be easily let inside the community. Just as they were in a standoff, a figure on horseback returned. It was Michonne. Naturally, Michonne noticed the new faces and walked towards them. Her face was stern, radiating an intangible sense of authority. Michonne scrutinized the newcomers, even searching Magna. Seeing her uncle being blamed, Judith rushed out to admit that it was her decision. Aaron also spoke up, thinking that these newcomers were not in danger. He believed their arrival was fated, and suggested their case be discussed in the council. Aaron is not in favor of the current Michonne, because of the Jocelyn incident. Michonne has become too cold. Gabriel, the head of the committee, also said that it's already late today and the committee will be convened in the morning. Michonne didn't say anything, but she had these people locked up.
Okay. Put them in holding.
Michonne is a different person than she was 4 years ago. The next morning, Alexandria Safe-Zone called a committee. Commissioner Gabriel, who was sitting in the center, began by saying that they hadn't had a newcomer for some time. He acknowledged their community's kindness and fairness, but also emphasized that they were not weak. If they wanted to join, they needed to answer questions and undergo a vote by the community. Gabriel then proceeded to question their origins, their occupations before the apocalypse, and so on. Representing the group was the portly Luke, a former music teacher before the apocalypse. The second woman, Magna, was a warrior. The third, Kelly, was a high school student. The woman next to her was Connie, Kelly's deaf sister. The injured woman in the infirmary was Yumiko. Luke shared their team's journey, asserting they had not engaged in any wicked deeds. They had been struggling to survive, experiencing the deaths of many companions along the way. 10 minutes passed as they answered questions from the council. The council members and residents present could sense that these individuals didn't seem malevolent. There was already a disposition to let them stay. However, at that moment, Michonne interrupted their decision-making process. Michonne stood up and spoke to everyone in the room. As a community, we want to be kinder, even more generous and compassionate, but we've learned painful lessons. Everyone needs to understand that the decisions we're about to make could have serious consequences. After speaking, Michonne approached the woman named Magna and asked her to show her left hand. Magna's hand had 3 black marks on it. Others were confused, not sure what this meant. Michonne raised Magna's hand and said, "Anyone with 3 marks on their hand indicates they were serious criminals before the apocalypse." People began to exchange glances. While a stint in jail doesn't make Magna a bad person, there is still some doubt in people's minds.
Just because she was a prisoner.
I can explain.
And you have nothing to hide?
Nothing.
Or you want to tell the truth? Yes. Put the knife on the table.
As Michonne spoke, the others felt uneasy. They all knew that Magna had a hidden knife on her belt. Michonne had done what she wanted to do and then asked everyone to start voting while she turned around and walked towards the outside.
Can I ask you a question?
No.
Given Magna's concealed knife, the outcome of the vote was unsurprising. They decided not to let them stay. However, they would wait for the injured Yumiko to recover before leaving. Magna isn't truly bad. She just finds it hard to trust others after surviving the apocalypse. Magna then goes to the window and sees the oppressive woman who is teaching Judith how to use a long knife. Magna felt a great deal of regret in this moment that they could not stay and live in such a nice place because of her. After the committee meeting, Gabriel went to the storage room to tinker with his wide-range radio. He wanted to use it to contact the survivors out there so they could come and live in the Alexandria Safe-Zone. Currently, most committee members were open to accepting newcomers, but Michonne held veto power, making them quite powerless. During today's meeting, it was clear to everyone that Michonne intentionally stirred residents to vote against newcomers. Since the Jocelyn incident, Michonne has become even more withdrawn and doesn't even try to help when the kingdom is in trouble. Gabriel's secret radio project was unknown to others. To increase the radio's range, they needed to install a signal amplifier on a distant vantage point. Rosita volunteered to install it, not for any other reason but because she and Gabriel were now a couple. In the afternoon, Rosita asked Eugene for help in installing the amplifier. Eugene had always been fond of attractive women. A long time ago, Eugene had feelings for Rosita, but she was with Abraham back then. Now, Eugene couldn't understand why Rosita was with Gabriel instead. So, Eugene indirectly remarked that there were too many physically strong but mentally simple men. Wondering why Rosita didn't consider better options, the meaning behind his words was clear, but Rosita pretended not to understand. As they were talking, something happened up ahead. The dirt was laid down by them, and the dense footprints on it indicated that an army of zombies was heading east. Fortunately, their destination was a tower to the west. 30 minutes later, Eugene reached the top of the tower and successfully installed the amplifier. Rosita confirmed everything was in order. Just as Eugene was about to come down, he saw a horde of zombies walking in the distance.
Sweet sassy molassie. Row! Herd!
Get your ass down, now!
Rosita tries to get the horses, but they get spooked and run away. Eugene accidentally dropped his backpack.
Shit.
What puzzled Eugene was how the zombies, who were originally headed east, had turned back. Little did they know, they were about to encounter a type of zombie they had never seen before.